If your zucchini turns soft in the fridge or releases a puddle of water every time you cook it, you may be preparing it the wrong way. These 6 simple tricks will help you store it. Longer, cut it for the right dish. Get a golden sear and make a quick stir fry that stays firm instead of soggy. Hi, I'm Tracy. Let's get started. First, before preparing the zucchini, you need to clean it. This is also the step where many people make the most mistakes. Many people peel off the entire outer skin or slice the zucchini before washing it. But this can unintentionally cause the zucchini to absorb water because the outer skin is thin, making it mushy when cooked. It is best to wash the zucchini while it is still whole, including the skin because the skin is edible. You should also avoid cutting it beforehand, since dirt can enter the flesh through the cut surfaces. Place the zucchini in a bowl of clean water, add 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and stir until dissolved. Soak it for only about 3 to 5 minutes. This short soaking time helps prevent the zucchini from absorbing water. Then use your hands to gently rub the entire surface, especially around the stem and any areas where soil is still clinging. Rinse the zucchini thoroughly under clean running water, then dry it before cutting. Drying the zucchini is very important because it can help the zucchini keep longer and prevent it from becoming soft and mushy when cooked. Now that the zucchini is clean, the way you cut it will determine whether the finished dish is crisp, tender, or likely to fall apart. That is why you should choose the right cutting method for each cooking technique. Did you know that the smaller and thinner you cut zucchini, the faster it cooks, but it is also more likely to release water and become soft. Larger pieces will retain more moisture and hold their texture better. So choose the cut that best suits each dish. For pan searing, cut the zucchini into rounds about 3/4 to 1 inch thick, keeping the slices fairly even. This cut helps the zucchini retain its moisture and crisp texture, making it more delicious after cooking. For a quick stir-fry, cut the zucchini in half lengthwise, then slice it into thin half moons. You can cut the slices slightly on the diagonal to increase the surface area that comes into contact with the pan. However, with this cut, you should not stir-fry the zucchini for too long, because the thin slices can become soft very easily. For roasting, cut the zucchini lengthwise into quarters, then cut it into bite-sized pieces. If the zucchini is mature and has a soft, seedy center, you should remove some of it. This method helps the zucchini absorb the seasonings while retaining its natural sweetness. Also, if you often use zucchini in soups, a simple option is to cut it into evenly sized cubes. There are many other zucchini dishes as well, so you can choose the most suitable cut for each one. What about you? What dishes do you usually make with zucchini, and how do you cut it? Let me know in the comments. Once the zucchini has been cut properly, the next important step is storing it. For whole zucchini, it is best not to wash it before placing it in the refrigerator. If you have already washed it, dry it thoroughly. Leave both ends intact, loosely, wrap the zucchini in a dry paper towel. Then place it in a perforated bag or a container that is not sealed too tightly. Store it in the crisper drawer and avoid placing it too close to an area that is extremely cold. After a few days, if the paper towel becomes damp, replace it with a fresh one. This method usually helps the zucchini maintain good quality for several days to about a week. For cut zucchini, pat the cut surfaces dry. Place the pieces in an airtight container lined with a paper towel and use them within 2 to 3 days. If the zucchini has a sour smell, a slimy surface, visible mold or flesh that has become very soft and mushy, you should not continue using it. I'll set aside some of the sliced zucchini for pan searing. My family absolutely loves this dish, and every time I make it, they finish every last piece. First, season the zucchini with a little salt and black pepper right before cooking so it is flavorful without releasing water too early. Preheat the pan, then add just enough butter to coat the bottom. Once the butter has melted and started sizzling, place the zucchini in the pan. Be sure to lay the wide-cut side of each zucchini round against the pan, but do not overcrowd it. This allows more of the zucchini to come into contact with the heat, helping the surface brown evenly and form a beautiful, lightly seared exterior. It also keeps the inside tender and juicy while making the zucchini look more appealing when served. Once the zucchini is in the pan, leave it undisturbed and do not stir it right away. It needs time in contact with the pan to develop a beautiful golden brown surface. When the bottom has browned, add a very small amount of water and cover the pan briefly. The steam will help the inside become tender, while the outside remains firm. Remove the lid. Flip the zucchini and cook until it reaches your preferred tenderness. You can turn off the heat a little early and let the remaining heat finish the cooking. The finished zucchini will be golden and fragrant, slightly crisp on the outside, tender and juicy inside, with its natural sweetness brought out by the salt, pepper, and light buttery flavor. Another way to keep zucchini fresh and usable for longer is to freeze it for later. This method works well when you plan to use it in stews, cooked dishes, or sauces. You can cut the zucchini ahead of time, based on the dishes you plan to make later. Then blanch it in boiling water for about 1 to 2 minutes and immediately transfer it to a bowl of ice water to stop the cooking process. Drain it, pat it completely dry, and arrange the pieces in a single layer on a tray. Freeze until each piece is firm, then transfer them to an airtight bag. Press out as much air as possible and label the bag with the storage date. For shredded zucchini, gently squeeze out some of the excess water, divide it into small portions, and freeze. When making soup or stew, you can add the frozen zucchini directly to the pot without thawing it first, which is extremely convenient. Finally, I'll show you how to make a stir-fried zucchini dish that keeps its beautiful color, does not become watery, and only needs to be cooked for a very short time. First, cut the zucchini in half, then cut each half lengthwise into quarters. If the center is mature, seedy, and soft, remove some of it, then cut the zucchini into bite-sized pieces. Next, prepare a few other vegetables by chopping the tomato, slicing the garlic, cutting the ginger into thin strips, slicing the green onions, diagonally cutting the bell pepper into pieces, and cutting the wood ear mushrooms into bite-sized pieces. Place the zucchini in a bowl, add a little cooking oil, and toss well, so that each piece is coated with a thin layer of oil. Then steam the zucchini over high heat for about 2 minutes, just until it turns bright green. This brief steaming step helps the zucchini become tender inside while retaining its moisture. Heat a little oil in a pan. Then add the garlic, ginger, and green onions and stir-fry until fragrant. Add the tomato and stir-fry for about 1 minute. Then add the wood ear mushrooms and continue stirring. Season with a little oyster sauce. Then add the zucchini and bell pepper to the pan. Stir-fry quickly for about 40 seconds. Add a little salt, then turn off the heat. The zucchini will stay beautifully green, moderately tender, slightly crisp, and will not release too much water. I often make this dish on weekends for the whole family to enjoy. I think you should try it too so your family can enjoy it. With just a few simple tips, you can now wash, cut, store, and cook zucchini more successfully without worrying about it becoming mushy or releasing too much water. Which tip from today's video did you like the most? Please share it with me in the comments. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.